This is one that y'all saw on, I believe, the Unit 5 test, and some of y'all did not do so well on it. Okay, so Samuel runs around a 400-meter track. He uses the linear equation y equals 200 plus 6x to describe how far he runs after he already jogged 2 laps. Which of the following best describes the slope of the linear equation? So first thing is first. Remember, your linear equation is written in this form, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So in this case, it's asking us to describe the slope. So the slope in this case is 6. So if my slope is 6, and I know it's written as a fraction, and it's talking about meters, and the time, well, that's the seconds. So this is like saying 6 meters per second. So our answer is B. And some of y'all, I believe, overthought that question on the test. Alright, so let's take a look at number 8. Okay, so you're going to have a question similar to this on your midterm. What you need to remember is if the number in front of y is negative, you have to flip that inequality. So if you look, none of these need to be flipped. So here it's telling you that this is the shaded region. So that is below. So if you look, this is greater than, and this is less than. If you look, it creates the L and the G. Since it's shaded below, that means I don't need the greater than. So I don't need this one, and I don't need this one. So what's the difference between A and C? Well, I would have to move over this 2 and then divide by 3. So I'm going to stop there because I know that my slope is negative on here. And if I look here, my slope's positive. Now here, I'm going to check just in case. Here I move it over. That comes to 2x. If I were to divide everything by 3, my slope would still be positive. So C is my answer. Just to clarify one more time, I got rid of B and D because they were greater and greater shades above. And then I knew the answer was C because if I were to solve for y, this was the one that would give me the positive slope. So it's kind of a shortcut what I've done. Okay, number 9. So this one is very similar to what y'all did this last week. We're going to move the x, change its sign, so this becomes positive. So this is 3x plus 9. Remember, if the number in front of y is negative, or we divide or multiply by a negative, the sign flips. So this is now just y because that reduces. This is negative x, and that's minus 3. So our answer would be, and just in case, there's an imaginary 1, so 2 plus 1 is 3, so that's where that came from. So our answer would be D on this one. Okay, number 10, write the equation of the line that is parallel to the line negative 2x plus y is equal to negative 8, and it passes through this point. Okay, so first things first, since it's parallel, you need to remember that parallel lines have the same slope. So I need to get this in slope-intercept form. So if I move this, this becomes a positive 2x. There's nothing to divide by, so my current equation is this, the negative 8 plus 2x. Now, my slope currently is 2. In order for it to be parallel, it has to be 2. And remember that symbol means parallel. So that means I can eliminate these 2 problems. Now, how do I figure out whether it's A or B? You could do it mathematically. Since it's already in slope-intercept form, I'm going to put both of these problems in the calculator and let the calculator do the math for me, the calculations. So I went to y equals, I typed this into y1, went to graph, and I'm going to go to -4. If it's correct, that point should say 7. So it's not A, but I'm going to check my answers because there's times where I could type something incorrectly, and I need to make sure that I have that right answer. So -4, 7, that checks. So there's my answer. Alright, so again on this one, have to get the parallel, and then you eliminated B and D because it's not the right slope, and then from there you went to y equals. Okay, so number 11. So Carter sells sports videos to a local businesses in his area. His daily wage, W, is based on the number of hours he works, H, at the minimum wage of $7.25 per hour, plus $10 to cover gas and lunch expenses. Which equation best describes this relationship? Okay, so his wage equals, all right, most of y'all are pretty good at this, but his wage is $7.50 per hour. So each hour that he works, he'll get that $7.25. So that's why that H is going to go with the $7.25. And then to cover his lunch and gas, they give him $10. So that's just a flat $10. So if you look, your answer is B. Okay. So number 12. What is the equation of the line that has an undefined slope and passes through the point -6,2? So since it says undefined, this is what I'm going to remind y'all. You have Hoybucks, horizontal 0, y equals, or you have vertical undefined and x equals. Well, since it says undefined, that means I need the bucks, which means I need x equals. And what does x equal in this problem? It equals -6. So my answer is x equals -6. Answer is C. Alright, number 13. So you have a dishwasher at a restaurant is loaded with the same number of dishes every time it is used. The table below shows the number of dishes washed as a function of the number of times the dishwasher is used. Okay, so you have a dishwasher. If you look, it's asking what the total number of dishes that have been washed when the washer has been used 9 times. So if you look, this is changed by 2 every time. This is changed by 52 every time. So if all we're doing is changing it to 9, that means I've only changed by 1. Which means that I'm going to add by 26 here. So calculator, 206 plus 29 is 234. So that's our answer, 234. And I would put 234. Alright, so this concludes part 1 of the review.